From there, I was like, yes, like anything you want, I got you. You hit me up, I'm hitting you back. He got exclusive privileges. He got access to me on a level that if he want to talk to me, he can talk to me. I haven't sent you my phone number, have I?
Oh yeah, I'll send you mine.
Oh yeah, send me your number because I think you got mine. So send me a
I
text.
don't know if the number I got from you was the consult one, but let me just send you my personal one. Just give me a second.
But yeah, he talked to me one-on-one because he got it like that.
Yeah, and I showed him my what's it called, the trust documents, and I mean, he told me that it was 80%, 90% there. I think that's what. So it's like you got to have the knowledge, right? You got to go out there and get it. Go take it. It's sitting there. The cash is sitting there. Go grab the cash. Like you're playing GTA. It's sitting right there.
Yeah, the inner circle small, very small. I got one other person who I talked to. He actually hit me up today, funny enough. If you in the live, bro, I'm going to hit you later. I saw your message come in. But yes, only a few. Inner circle tight. And y'all seen him in one of the videos. I'm not going to tell you which one. But he got a receipt too. Studying. All you got to do is study. You got to piece it together and get to talk. That's it.
It's like, yep, it's a puzzle. And the hardest part really is just being able to unlearn what you've been taught. That's the hardest part. Like you're fighting yourself kind of. You're like, this shouldn't be like this. But then, you know, it's an internal journey as well. It's not just external. Let's see. Oh, I can see the comments now. Let's go.
See, no, the thing is, we can't give that letter out because the letter is the answer. You see what I'm saying? And if that's the case, what's going to happen is it's going to get out to 1,000 people. And then they're going to be like, well, now if we see this, we know that it's just coming from one group and we're going to ignore it. So no, I cannot let that get out. And there's a reason why I didn't share the letter in the post because I knew, so I'll give you the example. Somebody else got a credit denial overturned. And we did post the letter of what they used. And then, not even 2 weeks later, somebody had verbatim copy-pasted that letter off the post, and then we're like, I got rejected, and I sent them this, and then they were like, no. Y'all literally copied and pasted the letter from the video, and then was mad because it didn't work for them. But I'm like,
what do you do when they call you? What do you do when they call you? Like, are you just gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like the letter's just, it's not the whole thing. There's a process.
Yep. And you have to know why.
You can't be like, oh, you know, let me call you. Let me call Caleb and add him to the call, and then he'll explain it to you. No, I didn't expect it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just sitting on my couch, and I was like, who's this number? Damn. But I picked it up. I'm glad I did.
So no, it will not be posted because as much as y'all, I'm sorry, there's too many of y'all who gonna copy paste. I know it sucks. You know, them group punishments where it's like, I used to hate that where one kid mess up and everybody get punished. But unfortunately, in this case, you know, it has to happen that way because too many people don't put in the work and will stop putting in the work. And then when they're gonna ruin it for good people, and I'm not gonna let it happen. Now, if you have a letter that you want to send to me, I can say yay or nay. That's easy. But y'all ain't getting that letter because you want a template. I'm sorry. And anybody who is mad that they're not getting it, you who I'm talking about. You're who I'm talking about.
And I basically just told you what it was without telling you. Like, how much effort do you want to put in?
Yeah, but I keep trying to tell y'all, and this is what y'all don't. I see you're not getting it. Is that the understanding is what's crucial here. It's not the remedy that's crucial. I know y'all so focused on the remedy, but you're not focused on the understanding, and you're not understanding that you will never get remedy. Like it's that simple. If you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, you're not gonna get remedy. Like, I don't understand. There's no other way around it. If you don't even understand what you're doing, you're not going to get remedy. And y'all don't understand. It's clear. Some of y'all,
And all the questions,
not everyone. A lot
like,
of you do.
you get answered. The questions you have are so, like, you'll answer your own questions when you start diving deeper. Like the questions you
Exactly.
ask, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna screenshot some of them and send them to you, Caleb.
Like I said, I could be screenshotting. I've gotten tons of questions in this live where I'm like, you can answer that yourself.
Just Google. Half of the time it's just Google or go on their website. Like, it's just basic stuff. Or it's crazy stuff. Like, you know what I told you the other day? Some crazy stuff like that. Like, it don't even make sense. People saying you need a FOIA letter to discharge. Like, doesn't make sense.
It's all about understanding. And the thing is, as much as I can give you all of the templates, like I said, I can give you the audit report, but I can't understand it for you. Like I said, I can gift every single one of y'all an audit report. Let's see if y'all know what to do with it.
Yep.
Let's see if you know what to do with it, because it doesn't matter if you have it if you don't know what to do.
Can you enforce what you send? It's all about enforcement, not the right. Like, stamping and endorsing is just writing on a piece of paper. Can you enforce it?
We do stop responding to the people that's asking those questions. And then they say, y'all don't answer questions. Y'all don't answer questions. Like,
blame everybody but yourself.
But I'm telling you, if you spent half of the time that you spent asking the question to research it, you get an answer. But no, y'all just want to wait and wait and wait and wait. Even though we done told you how to discharge debts, how to get. I mean, we done told you everything. And just that last live was 5 hours, and in those 5 hours,
It was?
we dang near did a whole run of the course. We went over just about everything. Like, it gave y'all all types of things that you can do. But yet, because it wasn't a step-by-step, it wasn't a do this, do this, do this, there's going to be a lot of people on that live who didn't get the true benefit. But there's a few that did. And Ane is one of those few.
Yep.
There's some of y'all few in this live. And it is for you few who are going to get it that I'm here. Everybody else playing around. It's posted.
Like, the credit application being a promissory note, I got that from a live. It wasn't in a class. There was no credit denial overturn class. I just got it from the live, and I pieced it together. Like, y'all got to listen to the lives. 5 hours? Like, you better be listening to that while you shower, while you go to work. Like, you got to just be, it's got to be in your ears on twice double time speed. Yep, printing it out is a good option. Highlighting it is a good option.
Oh shoot, my sound was off. How long was it off? I was preaching.
Oh, it's been off for like 3-4 minutes, I think.
Oh my God, I was going off.
I was
I done
wondering
forgot
what
what I
happened to
said.
Burrow. Did he just disappear?
My bad, y'all. See, but that's what Auntie talking about, though. We be in a trend. Like I was just speaking that whole time, and y'all couldn't even hear it. And I was going off, and I don't even remember what I was saying no more. Like that's tough. That's tough. What was the last thing I was talking about that you heard?
I don't even remember.
That's wild. Yeah, no. See, my whole train of thought got thrown off. What was I? Let me see.
Listen to the lives, I think.
Yes, listen to the lives.
5-hour live is a gift. Like that's a gift from God. Just listen to it on repeat.
Oh yeah, they say if they fail to perform, what happens? Okay, that's what I was on because I saw that. Okay, they say if they fail to perform, what happens? If you're asking me that question, you shouldn't have sent nothing off in the first place. You shouldn't have. Like a lot of these questions, like what do you do if they don't respond? Or I sent my first letter or my second. Like no, these are not questions. And if you don't know the answer, you shouldn't have sent it off in the first place. No, I know you're not asking, but they do be saying that. I've seen that in my comments so many times. What do you do if they don't perform? I set my security. And oh, let me tell you something. Y'all get on my nerves whenever somebody tell me that I was on the phone with the company and they told me they never received my payment. Y'all get on my nerves with that. Like, y'all get on my nerves. I'm sorry. There's no explanation for that. Registered mail is the most secured mail in the world.
Do you know what happens?
You have a tracking number.
Packet, the guy gets fired. Like they treat that thing like it's like I heard that. Like that's why it takes so long. So there's no way that they lost that packet.
Yeah, if you got a registered mail number and it says it was delivered, don't let them tell you that they didn't get it. What's wrong with you? I don't understand that. Like that's something that don't click for me. They told me they never got it, so I don't know what to do. Are you kidding me? You sent it registered mail for a reason. They can't tell you that. You got to give them the registered mail number. You need to open the case because let me tell you what. If you give them your registered mail, if you put it into a billing, like I said, y'all got to think outside the box. You send them a payment, registered mail. When it's put in the mail, it's considered paid. If they do not credit your account by what does it say in the act? By 1 p.m. or like 5 o'clock on that
5
day,
p.m. the next business
5
day.
p.m. the next business day, you are allowed to put it in a billing error status. You put it in a billing error status and you say, I sent my payment via registered mail. Here's the number. I spoke to someone on the phone, and if they tell you that, have them send it to you in writing that they never got it. Y'all need to stop talking to these people over the phone. Anything they say over the phone is not nothing unless you're recording. And if you didn't, and if it's not a one-party state and you didn't disclose it, you can't use it anyway. But the thing is, you put it into a billing error and you say, hey, I sent this registered mail. They said they never received it. This is a billing error. They will start an investigation. And when they start that investigation, they ain't going to be able to take no adverse actions the entire time, and they're going to have to credit that balance. I guarantee you, they're going to call you and say, we found it. You put it into a billing error status. If you call the post office and you file a complaint because they say they never got it, okay, well, that means it's missing. So when it's missing, the first thing the post office is going to do is go to that chain of custody, see who the person who signed for it, and they're going to be looking for them. So they're going to call you again. It's
They do a service request.
Here out of thin air, it's going to surface. All of a sudden, they're going to find it. Talking about some, I never got the payment. No. If you accept that, you don't deserve to get a remedy. I'm sorry. If you just let them tell you that when you know for a fact that they got it, because you looking at your registered mail and it says delivered on this date at this time, you must be tweaking. Like the cognitive dissonance is real at that point. So don't let them tell you that. Same thing with the whole, this isn't a valid form of payment. Okay, prove that. Send to me in writing that you do not consider this a valid form of payment. Please.
And if you
because if you do, to me, that's you rejecting my payment in oh so many words. This ain't valid. Oh, well, it is. So I'm saying it's valid. You're saying it's not. Well, my obligation to you has been discharged. What do you want to do? Can you prove to me that this isn't money? Or are you just going to let them tell you that they don't accept this type of payment or that this isn't an acceptable payment and then just sit there?
If you saw the Chase post, they don't tell you that they don't accept it. They'll play around it. They'll say, oh, it's the wrong address or wrong department. But they'll never, because they're really getting themselves in trouble. It'll tell you we reserve our rights, so you have to send it to the certain department on your statement. Otherwise, they don't have to accept it. It's their policy.
For example,
trumps the law. It's their law. So you agreed to it.
For example,
follow it.
Let me give you just a regular bot example of this. If you're dealing with a company and they say, we've placed your account into restrictions, you are only allowed to pay via either like if they want your bank account, you're only allowed to pay like that. Or they'll say you're only allowed to pay in one way, right? And if you send any other payment, they won't accept it because your account is in restrictions. Well, that's not what the law says. If they have your account of restrictions and you send them a payment and they send that payment back and they say, we're not going to take this, well, guess what? They just discharged your payment. You don't owe them anymore.
3-604.
It doesn't matter what the currency is. If they reject your payment, you don't owe them anymore. So stop letting them with this with this whole it's not real money. I received a letter from Chase after I filed my 1099 saying they don't accept it as legal tender. That's because it's not legal tender. Again, they didn't lie to you when they said it wasn't legal tender because it's not. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to show on the back end that money was lent to them and let the IRS know that it was paid back and that is removed. So no, it's not legal tender. Tell them to keep it for their taxes and make sure to file it on time. What you mean? It's not legal tender. Like I said, y'all don't understand what you're doing. Why would you send a 1099 to the company? I mean, when you file it, they send it automatically, and yeah, they're going to say something back to you stupid like that. But it's not legal tender. You want to keep it for tax purposes. Like, come on.
Did you even read what a 1099A is on the IRS website? What the purpose of that's for?
Yeah. Acquisition or abandonment. What did you acquire?
Property. Who's the holder of the loan?
Exactly. So none of that. None of this. It's not legal tender. None of this. We didn't get it. That only stands if you let it. Prove it, please. Because I'm the president of the United States. Now, whether or not I can prove that is something else. But I'm the president of the United States. You get where I'm going? Are you understanding?
It's not under oath, right?
Yeah. I'm the president of the United States. Now, does that make it true because I just said it to you?
Lady 4306, there you go. She said it. She got the UCC code. What I said. That's exactly right. Right? I forget it's if they surrender or mutilate or destroy your payment, there's discharge up to the value of the tender or something like that. That's what it says.
Yes. They surrendered it back to you. Okay, well, I sent in my payment on this day, and you sent it back to me on this day, citing blah, blah, blah. You've just discharged my obligation. Now, if you would like to prove that I still owe you a debt and that what I sent you wasn't legal tender in court or in arbitration equity court, please do. But they can't.
Yep. Because at that point, they're
ask them under oath. Well, can this document be transferred to third parties? Can you sell it to third parties and make a profit from it? Yes or no? And they're going to say yes. Okay, so then this is negotiable then. Yes? Okay, so this is negotiable. So then you can take it as a payment. You see what I'm saying? You have to trap them in. And if you get them in a courtroom, if you sue them, and you ask them under oath whether or not they can transfer that note to third parties, they're going to tell you that they can. If you ask them whether it's negotiable, they're going to tell you that it is. So when you know what to ask and you know how to back them into a corner, they will perform. But the problem is y'all don't understand. No, but you don't understand.
Knew that UCC code? How many of y'all knew UCC 3-604? That was covered a long time ago, but you still need to know it. Did you read Article 3? Yep, they broke it down in Discharge 2.0. Yep. The power of the UCC, they broke it down there as well.
It's in the prospectus about mutilation, lost, or destroyed notes. I've seen all their notes are obligations, and they guarantee them. Absolutely.
And then please don't tear the bond off the coupon off the bond. No. Don't do that.
No, because that makes it a mutilated payment. And what does it say? Like he just said in the prospectus, if you mutilate the payment, they're allowed to do what they will with it, which is why they tell everybody cut off the bottom. Because then you
can't even
mutilate it, and legally you can't say, well, they didn't cash in this payment because they don't have to. They bringing you in on the fraud with them.
Come join us. And you send it regular mail? Oh. The prospectus is an SEC form. It's not a book. I think the audio cut out. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. Were you speaking?
No, I was looking at the comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because people were saying no sound. Okay, good.
But yeah, I'm like, shoot, a whole bunch of people like it just clicked. I hope it did, because I'm trying to get y'all to understand this. It's really a lot simpler than everybody's making it seem. And then, I saw somebody say like, oh, why so much beef in the consumer law space? It's not so much that, but you have to understand what it comes with when you're teaching this type of information, right? Because again, accountability is at an all-time low. When something goes wrong, people want to blame someone else. That is what's happening. Now, it don't make any sense because all of y'all are adults who make your own decisions. I did not come to you, Auntie did not come to you with a gun to your head and say, do this. Stamp a send. No, nobody did that. Anybody who has done that, done it of their own volition because they wanted to, because they wanted a remedy. Now, those same people who did something because they wanted to, because they wanted a remedy, suddenly forget that it was their choice when it doesn't work out how they wanted to. And then because it didn't work out, now it's past the freedom fault. You see what I'm saying? So that's one element of it, which is that when things go wrong, people are looking for someone to blame. It's not going to be me, I'll tell you that. And the other part of it is that different teachers will teach you different things. So if you're trying to learn under Path to Freedom, I wouldn't recommend being out here on everybody else's page like I see some of y'all. When I discovered Auntie, I stopped looking at anybody else. And because
that's the exact same here.
I did that, now I'm in this position because I didn't mixed her stuff with Anna Von Wright's, David Strait. I didn't do that. And I know too many of y'all who do that. Y'all will take our stamp endorse send with Mansa cover letter, and then this person's this person's that, do all type of I mean, you have our stamp endorse send, then you might put an accepted for value stamp on there too. Like, I don't understand. So
and that's that you're just following a template. Like
exactly.
you don't
So
even accept it for
people,
value. Doesn't exist in law. It's not a thing in banking. No banker will ever tell you what accepted for value is.
so that's the second element, which is that people are learning from different teachers. Different teachers teach different things. A small example of this is like this. Nobody was talking about trustee before Path to Freedom. Then everybody started talking about it. But like, for example, I'm going to use Mansa. Mansa teaches, you send it to the CFO, right? You send it to the CFO. You do that. That's his process. You endorse your bill with this by me, for me type stuff, and you send it to the CFO. That's his process. We will say to go to the trustee, sometimes directly to the company, right? And yeah, the CFO is indentured as well. But the thing is, if you're trying to mix Mansa's process with ours and then send it to the trustee with a Mansa cover letter, you see, it's not something that's going to work. Or if you're trying to use a Patrick Devine method, or you doing these people's 1099s and all of this stuff, right? Yeah, powers of attorney, and you trying to send in Form 56s and W9s, and you're doing all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing all this stuff from all these different teachers. So when you mix both of those together, you got people trying to blame somebody for what went wrong, and then mixing processes on top of the third element, which is that I don't know what exactly people are sending off. I don't know what their cover letter says. I don't know how they endorsed it. I don't know if they did it right. To be frank, we have examples of how to do it. I don't know if they sent it to the right address. I don't know if they sent it to the right person. There's too much that I don't know. But when you start trying to mix processes, that will not work. It's not that there's beef in the consumer space. It is that you cannot mix Path to Freedom with anybody else and expect to get a remedy. It's not going to happen. And on top of that, all of these people who are mixing all of these different processes from everyone are the first ones to come back and blame Path to Freedom and say, no, Path to Freedom information didn't work. Because I've seen it. Somebody on my page who we posted, they got a remedy, and then something happened, and then later on, now they're like, Path to Freedom don't work. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the issue is.
Their foundation didn't work. It's not the process works.
And then
but you have to follow
the other thing is, when other people, the third element of it is when other teachers take our information and try to sell it to other people. Because what happens is they're not selling the fullness of the process because they don't understand it. So they'll take a piece from Path to Freedom here and a piece over here, and then they'll try to sell it, and then they can't help people. But then those same people come back to Path to Freedom. So yes, when other teachers try to take our information, like Mr. KO, like anybody who want to be speaking on Path to Freedom but has no receipts, people, this is like, it's not beef, it's simple common sense. So y'all listening to everybody who don't have receipts, but Path's the only one with receipts. You see what I'm saying? So no, it's not beef. It's just that we have too much liability, and that we can say for a fact mixing processes isn't going to get you remedy. Going to people who take our information and are telling you to send purchase orders to trustees, that is a problem. I have a problem with that. You know why? Because then all of these people are ruining it for people who know what they're doing. So yes, that is what the issue is. And it's not about, oh, everybody's just beefing to beef. No, it's about the fact that you are listening to liars and thieves.
Why do you think the banks are so hesitant to give out medallions now? Because they know people don't even know what they're doing it for.
Exactly. Y'all
That's why
done
you
ruined the
gotta, you're
medallion.
making it harder
Y'all
for
done
everybody
ruined the
else.
purchase orders, right? It's hard now for people who actually know what they're doing to get a purchase order because everybody is just running and getting purchase orders now. You see what the issue is. It causes problems for the rest of us when people are giving you bad information. So am I wrong for being upset that people are giving you bad information and that it's making it harder for me? That's a problem? I didn't realize that was a problem, but I guess it is. But no, it's not beef. It's about the fact that I'm not going to be blamed because you use a Mansa process and didn't get remedy. It's about the fact that I'm not going to be blamed because you sent a purchase order to a trustee or to a transfer agent listening to other people. It is because if we give y'all something and then somebody else take it and steal it and they're not giving it right, now people can't get purchase orders to get homes and get cars. It makes it that much more difficult. So no, it's no beef really. But if you don't care that they're making it harder for you, then I don't care. But again, I'm getting fired up on behalf of y'all. Like, no, it's nothing like that. But again, you cannot have people one moment saying pass to freedom, praise them, and then hating. They be with us one moment, trying to suckle a little bit of information. Then when they feel like they got a little bit of something, then they dissing. How you go from I respect you, I'm your student, I'm learning from you, to I taught you everything. Like, what? And it's happened too many times.
Please
just like that
audit
Marcus
your
Kitchens
teachers.
dude. Marcus Kitchen in my DM. Marcus Kitchen in Auntie DM begging, please help me. I got a case. Please. I don't know what I'm doing. Please help me correct my status. Then not 2 days later, Pastor Freedom scamming. Pastor Freedom. So I posted it. I'm like, this you? This you begging in her DM? Like, no. People use our name for clout. I got a problem with people using my name for clout. They're not using your name for clout. They ain't scamming people and saying that it's you. No, they scamming people and saying that it's me. So yeah, I got a problem with it. It's no beef, but certain things aren't right. And y'all be trying to act, or some of y'all be acting like you ain't got no sense, that you can't see that they wrong. Like, no, I'm not always going to be the bigger person because I got a platform. If you doing me wrong and you trying to snake me, I'm calling you out. Like that one dude who posted my ebook and put his name on my ebook. He took my name off where it said by Caleb Holt and he put his name on there. And when I lit him the frick up, cussing him out, and people like, oh, you should have gone to him in private. He didn't come to me in private to steal it, but he posted it in public. So
that part.
Like, y'all be acting backwards sometimes. Like, no. If I'm being done wrong and they doing y'all wrong, yeah, I have a right to be upset about it. So if we speak on it, it's because we trying to tell y'all. Don't get caught up in it. But there's scammers out here making bags off of y'all. Because I'm not following nobody, but y'all getting followed by these scammer pages, and they're like, hey, we got a class. You come on my page, ain't no mention of a class. I ain't posted in a month. So I ain't posted in a month. Auntie ain't posted in 2 weeks, and you buying the $300 class out of somebody DM, and they got 800 followers because they using my name with a bunch of old videos because I turned off my downloads. So they can't get the new video.
Y'all don't read. How you can tell when it's a scammer page. It's like the same way you can't read a contract. You can't even read who you buying from. Like, come on. The Cash App names aren't even the same.
Nah, and then they give you a Cash App and it's paying out to Jenkins, like, Jenkins Williams, and you're like, who Jenkins Williams? Like, no.
And the thing is, right, what other teacher can provide receipts? That's why I say you got to audit who you're listening to. Real receipts, not fake ones.
And that's real. Go on. If y'all following anybody else but Pastor Freedom, please show me where they posted a receipt. I need
That's
some.
Why I followed on.
I ain't seen nobody.
She's
and if y'all on pages that ain't got receipts, you need to hit unfollow.
And they got to be real receipts as well. Like, if you can tell.
and like, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If any of y'all following me are following State Nationals Rock, you need to go ahead and get off my page. Because you're integrating your brain with nonsense at the same time is what I'm telling you. If you follow a State Nationals Rock, no, absolutely not. No. If you follow a State Nationals Rock, why? That's my question. Why are y'all following anybody that ain't giving you? Now, Amir posts receipts every day. So I'm not talking about Amir.
That's how you know they're good, because they can prove results.
Amir got testimony on testimony on testimony. Those scammers were not good. Those scammers were terrible because, one, none of these pages even look like my page. Y'all know how many followers I got on TikTok, almost 200,000. And y'all are talking to these scammer pages with 500 followers. They got no followers. They got 5 videos. I don't have any
lack of reading.
And then on top of that, my link tree is not in the bio. My link tree is on my TikTok page and on my Instagram. If it doesn't have my link tree, why would you think it's me? Scammer pages aren't giving me money. They're not linking me. So if it doesn't have ignorance be gone link tree and there's only one, it's not me. So no, the scammer pages aren't good. I haven't seen a single page that fooled me. Not even close. Because none of them are even close. And all the videos that they upload got the TikTok watermark. If you go on my main TikTok page, none of my videos got a watermark because they come from that page. The only reason the Instagram has the watermark is because I upload it from TikTok. But you can verify that this is my Instagram by the number of followers and the fact that my link tree in there. The scammer pages are far too obvious. So no, they're not good. They're not good. If you got scammed by one of those scam pages, you deserved it. That's it. You're always learning. You learn how to live correctly. What you mean? Gems will be dropped when I feel like dropping gems. You see what I'm saying? I was just dropping 5 hours worth of gems.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you got 5 hours to go through before you're gonna start asking for
and then
more.
we've been out here for about 40 minutes. So y'all, you know, we gonna get to it when we get to it. Can we get to the lesson, please? What lesson? You can go if you don't want to be here.
The lesson is to read.
I don't have to teach if I don't want to. I don't have to teach. Don't obligate me into anything. I'm ranting right now, talking about issues in the consumer space because somebody asked a question. They obviously wanted to hear it. Come on. Don't be wild. Like I said, that's that entitlement. That's that entitlement. What do I owe you? See, y'all be having us flip-flop back and forth because it's like 1 minute I love y'all sometimes. I'm like, I love the people. Let's get to it. And then other times, I'm like, man, if I never posted again, it would be too soon. And it just take one person to do it. One person. And it's the disrespect. But it's okay because we burn in audacity. But anyways, we can get back to the lesson. But I just wanted people to understand it's not beef. It's not anything that we have against it. If we find people in the space who are trustworthy, we will recommend them to you because we're not gatekeeping. Amir Law is absolute. Amir Law is great. There's a lot of great creators, people who we respect, who we will vouch for, but not everybody is like that. And a lot of them are angry at us for no other reason than having receipts because somehow path to freedom is the problem when we're the only ones with receipts. I'm just saying the math isn't mathing. Know what I'm saying? The math ain't mathing. It don't make no sense to me. No. It don't make no sense to me. Mansa stopped. Mansa is on some weird stuff now. Again, at one time he was good, but now I'm a little concerned. I'm a little iffy. He telling people they don't need trust, and he ain't going deeper. You know what I'm saying? He just send it to the CFO and sue him in federal court. But we know that their jurisdiction is wholly in Delaware. So why are you suing them in federal court, right? So again, it's nothing personal. Let's see some receipts.
They will
Let's see
dismiss
something.
that case if you sue them in federal court. It was in the indenture agreement. Will tell you lack of jurisdiction.
Lack of jurisdiction. And see, I'm gonna be nice. See, I don't have to do this, but I'm nice. And because the first live was lost where I was dropping the sauce, y'all about to get some more sauce. I'm going to go back over the mortgages and what I talked about a bit because I want y'all to know. You understand? The other live wasn't saved, so y'all going to have a record of it here. Take notes for the mortgage class. Get your pens out. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to take a sip of my water. When I start speaking, have your pen and paper ready because you're about to get some sauce, all right? I'm drinking right now. All right. I know I said 30 seconds, but, keep on grabbing. All right, so everything comes in threes, 3, 3, 3. Nikola Tesla once said, if you understand 369, you'll have the keys to the universe. Mans was low-key on some smart things back then. So let me tell you something, bro. Check here, right? When you have a mortgage, what secures the mortgage is 3 different things. The deed, the promissory note, and the intangible debt obligation. Okay? Deed, promissory note, intangible debt obligation, which is the rights to the payment. Going back to the example of Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper is your mortgage servicer. U.S. National Bank is the trustee, and they transfer the debt into an unknown trust. All right? So, Mr. Cooper, original lender, servicer. U.S. Bank is the trustee, and then unnamed trust that they transfer it into, right? So, all 3 of these things must be together in order to constitute a mortgage. When there is a separation of them, what they call a break in the chain of title, the mortgage is null and void. When the deed is separated from the note, the mortgage becomes unenforceable. That's number 1. When you go get your mortgage from Mr. Cooper, they record it, right? They record the deed with the recorder of deeds. Okay? That's all well and fine. Mr. Cooper now is holding the promissory note that you gifted to them because you endorsed it in blank. You did not name a payee. So that note was endorsed in blank. So Mr. Cooper is claiming that you gave them a gift. So the first thing that they do is they take that gift and they give it to their trustee, U.S. National Bank. So U.S. National Bank, they pay to the order of U.S. National Bank. They stamp it, they give it to U.S. Bank, U.S. Bank signs and accepts. So now U.S. Bank is holding the promissory note. Now, according to federal law, because they have just sold your note and are assigning a new servicer, they are supposed to record that change in the recorder of deeds office within 30 days. Now, recording it isn't what makes it legal. What's supposed to happen is that U.S. National Bank is supposed to show that they had the note, and they would have to prove that they had the note and the deed prior to when that recording was filed. That recording is a memorialization of something that already transpired. So even if they go and do it after the 30 days, it doesn't matter. It's null and void because they didn't have it within 30 days, right? So because they didn't record it, they were in violation of federal law. That's number one. That's violation number one. Okay? They're in violation of federal law because they did not record the change within 30 days of the time that they gave them the note. Okay, one part of it. Okay. So now, U.S. Bank takes this note, they endorse it in blank, so they write pay to the order of, they don't assign a payee, right? This is how they're able to keep on trading it and trading it and trading it. So they traded into this trust. Now the trust, they write pay to the order of unnamed trust, or not unnamed trust, but pay to the order of in blank, and then they give it to the unnamed trust. From there, the trust securitizes and starts trading that note everywhere. Okay? Right. So we understand that part. But when U.S. National Bank endorsed that note in blank, they also gave up their rights to collect the payment stream, right? So when it was transferred from Mr. Cooper to U.S. National Bank, Mr. Cooper lost the rights to collect on that note because they're not holding it. They transferred it. Now, because U.S. National Bank endorsed it in blank, not only are they now have given up their rights to the note, they are now also the only party who can properly finish the note and settle it out, right? Because until that is done, it's considered an incomplete note, right? So that note is incomplete, and anybody who gets it and is holding it while it is incomplete is also unable to acquire any rights to collect payment on the debt. All right. So Mr. Cooper transferred the rights to payment to U.S. National Bank. U.S. National Bank endorsed it in blank, lost the rights to collect payment, but also cannot transfer rights to receive payment until a payee is named. So as long as there is no payee named, they trade, blah, 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 but nobody else but U.S. Bank can close the note. This is why your trustee from the beginning is always going to be your trustee. You see what I'm saying? Because while that note is endorsed in blank, they're the only ones who can settle it out. So after 33 years, they get it back and it's done. But for those 33 years, nobody else who was holding that note is able to collect payment from it. So that's important because I really hope y'all caught that. I didn't mention that earlier, but if you understand now, you know why your trustee stays the trustee, because that note is going to be blank for the next 33 years. Now, here's the magic part, right? Because all of that happens, but the promissory note backs up the deed. The deed is only a valid contract if the promissory note is valid. The moment that I'm not going to get into that quite. So let's go back here. They didn't record it, right? So that is an irreversible break in the chain of title. Now, again, every time they do this, they're supposed to do it. But the rights to the deed, the rights to the note, and the rights to the payment stream are three different things, right? So they separated the rights of the deed from the rights of the note. And then They further separated the rights of the payment obligation to the note from the note. So all three of them are now separated in three different places. Now, when they're trying to foreclose, in order for them to foreclose, in order for anyone to foreclose, they must be the holder of not only the deed, but the note, right? And so when they take the note endorsed in blank and they sell it into the trust, what they sell is the rights to the payment stream. Are you hearing me? So the rights from the deed and the note were separated when Mr. Cooper transferred it to U.S. Mortgage, but the rights to the note and the payment stream were separated when the trustee endorses it in blank to whatever the trust is, right? So they sell the rights to the payment stream. This is why when your money comes in, it goes from your original servicer to the trustee, right? Because remember, the original servicer is getting about 1% every time it's traded. So they got 1% of the value when they sold it to the trust. They got 1% when they sold it to the trustee, and then they got 1% when the trustee sold it, and they're going to get 1% every time it gets sold after that. So your money goes to them, but because they no longer have the rights to the payment stream, they funnel it through U.S. Bank, right? U.S. Bank does not have the rights to the payment stream, so U.S. Bank funnels the money into the trust, and then your money goes back in to pay the underwriters who bought your certificates. Because when they sold the rights to your payment stream into the trust, they then issued investor certificates in the amount equal to your payment stream or mortgage. And in order to guarantee the returns, they're using the money that you send them every month. So now you understand, see, because first you just knew that this is what was happening, but now you understand why they send it to the trustee who sends it to the trust. You see what I'm saying? Now you understand why it moves that way. So your money, the rights to the payment stream, goes to the trust, and you pay back the investors. The holder of the note, the right to hold the note, is whoever is holding it at the time, but just because they are holding the note doesn't mean that they acquired the rights of a holder in due course, because in order to acquire the rights of a holder in due course, it has to be transferred legally, and all of the transfers would have had to been recorded in the deeds office, but none of them are. On top of that, the note is endorsed in blank, so anybody who is receiving it is receiving an incomplete instrument, and therefore they cannot be a holder in due course. So what they have done is completely shattered your chain of title. And that is the fraud, my good people. So when you go to court and you do a lis pendens, now they have to prove that they are the holder of the deed and the mortgage, and that every single company who they sold it to and traded it to was the holder of the deed and the mortgage at the time. And if they don't, then they can't prove that they have any ownership of the property. So there it is. There it is. I just broke down a mortgage for you. Now you understand why they do what they do. Does that make sense, y'all? Tell me, drop a fire emoji if a light went off in your head. Just drop a fire emoji, no words. If a light went off in your head, just drop a fire emoji, no words. If a light went off in your head, just drop a fire emoji, no words.